What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of CTRL the Narrative. Carmelo's still with the Blazers in a little bit of a slump right now, but we're going to kind of talk it over and see what is the next move and why this is happening. I got my guy Darell from Sports Redefined Podcast on tonight. Darell, how's it going, bro?
What's up, brother?
Appreciate the time, first off. For those who don't know you, why don't you kind of tell us a little bit more about your basketball fandom? How'd you start liking basketball? Who'd you grow up with as your favorite player and kind of all that?
Oh, man. I'm a basketball fanatic. I've been playing basketball since I was 2. Played college D1, D2, D3. Played high school. Right now, I coach at Bedford Academy High School. I'm an alumni there. They brought me back as a JV coach. This is now like my 3rd season. Yeah, Michael Jordan, of course. I had a couple other guys sprinkled in there, but it was Jordan, Iverson. Everybody knows Iverson to the death of me. And then when Iverson retired, I had to pass it over to Melo. That wasn't a bad pass off. So.
Yeah. Wait, so how'd that happen? How'd the pass from AI to Melo happen?
I mean, I've been watching Melo since Oak Hill. So when he came in the league, I was like, yo, I really like this guy. You know, I kept my eye on him, but, you know, everything was Iverson. But I saw Iverson getting old, and I saw the trade happen. And when he went to Denver, those were the happiest 2 years of my life. But, you know, they didn't keep the team together, you know, and the way Iverson's career went out, I was like, oh, I got to find a new player. I was hurt. I was kind of depressed, but I trusted Melo. And then, you know, Melo came to New York. I was like, oh, I get to watch him for 40-something games.
Yep.
I got MSG Network. And
yep.
that was all she wrote. So.
Why do you think AI and Melo in Denver didn't work?
I want to say the roster.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the years Iverson was there, they didn't build around him. Not saying they were supposed to, but in Philadelphia, they made it work. Like, he was the scoring guard, so they put defensive players around him. In Denver, he would play with Steve Blake. He would play with Anthony Carter. I'm just like, bro.
Eduardo Nahara.
Yeah, I mean, no, those were good defensive players, but
but
in terms of, you know, Iverson's your scorer. He's 6 foot, so you usually let him hold a point guard.
Yeah.
And you'll give Eric Snow or Aaron McKee the shooting guard. Now, if you got Anthony Carter and Steve Blake, we all the same size. Who gonna guard who?
Yep.
So, you know.
So the roster construction, you think?
Yeah, and George Karl, I don't think he was feeling it. It was too many tattoos and braids and stuff going on over there.
Because a lot of people, when they look back at AI and Melo, like, oh, yeah, they never made it work together.
I mean, 2 years wasn't enough time, really.
Right.
And they didn't have the same team both times, so it's kind of hard to build something, for real.
Right, so you're more of a player fan.
I always argue, though, those teams was better than people gave them credit for because both teams, they lost to champions. They lost to champions.
Bro, the Nuggets always ran into those teams.
Yeah, but literally those 2 years, Iverson was there. They lost to the Spurs, first round. Spurs took it. They lost to the Lakers. Lakers took it. So it's like, what do you want? You feel me?
Yeah. So you're more of a player fan. Like, you never liked the team like that. You just kind of fucked with the players and then followed them around?
Yeah, pretty much. But, you know, back in the days, you know, players stayed on teams for a long time.
True.
So you begin to develop liking the team. You get used to seeing people like, I liked Tyrone Hill at one point. And people was like, what? And I'm just like, yo, he takes screens for Iverson and he boxes out for Iverson. Like, you know, so at one point I was a Sixers fan. But, you know, there I go.
All right, so going from the Denver days now to the Portland days, what are your thoughts on how the Blazers have used Melo so far and just kind of how he fits on this team?
I would say coming in the first couple of games, I think he was more of a focal point, and you could tell. They would, you know, give him the ball early, you know, get him touches early to try to get him going, and then I don't know, after his Western Conference Player of the Week thing. It's like they went away from him, and it's like
You
he had to
noticed
start
that.
fighting for shots, and it started looking like OKC again, and we know how that ended. So I don't know what's going on right now.
So do you think it's Melo, the team? Do you think it's the coach? Like,
I think it's I go 60-40 coaching and the players.
yeah,
As the coach, like something was working for you. You guys had a successful week. Melo was I don't want to say he was the focal point, but he was effective because he felt involved. And then you go away from that, y'all start losing. So it's like, as the coach, you got to do something about it. And as the players, you got to recognize that. It's like you got to put your ego to the side and, recognize that. Like you brought him in to help, not to be a decoy. So what do you want?
Yeah, I think that's really interesting how just like all of this kind of started, it's not downhill, but a lot of shit changed after that Player of the Week award. And I don't know why. I don't know if it was correlated with it, but just like I feel like ever since that, the team has been, like you said, playing mad selfish, just my turn, your turn, like the OKC days. And, before that, like they were running a lot of pick and rolls, pick and pops with CJ and Melo. CJ wouldn't pass it to Melo that much, and we'll get to that. But I just feel like it's literally like you come off the court, and even Melo, you can see it when he doesn't know how many shots he's going to get. So when he comes down, he's even a little more selfish because it's contagious.
Right.
So like Anthony Simons is another one. He gets the ball. He knows, shit, if I give it to CJ, I'm probably not getting it back. So let me just shoot it, and it becomes contagious. So, yeah, I think it is kind of coaching, but like you said, I think it's a lot more on the players, just like, recognize what's going on. At the end of the day, like, you guys are out there. The coach can only tell you so much, but if you're coming and pulling up every single time and you're not passing once on offense, that's not the coach. Like, that's the players coming up and doing that shit. So, I don't know, man. I think it's real fucking weird how just shit is starting to change, and the selfishness is just, like, contagious at this point.
I think NBA coaches are put in a tough spot. It's like they're not little kids, so it's a different way you coach. If you're coaching little kids, you yell at them, "Hey, what are you doing? Pass the ball."
Right.
He's a grown man who makes millions of dollars. So it's like, how do you really, yell at them without being fired the next day? Because it's a max player who's making $220 million. So it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
But I don't know, bro.
That's a good point, though. Because, like, these guys are supposed to know. It's not like they're fucking 6 years old who are like,
they're
pass
supposed
it.
to
Set
know,
the screen.
bro.
Pass it. Set the screen.
Right.
Like, they're supposed
People
to know.
don't understand. I watched the OKC season. Like, I watched every game. Paul George wore me out every game. He was doing high school fundamental mistakes. And I'm like, dude.
Like what?
You was 6'9", jumping in the air to pass.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, you 6'9", you're a pro. What is going on, bro? Like, I don't understand. And it's just like, everybody's like, oh, you just want Melo to take all the shots. It's like, it's not even that. It's just like, you get to see IQ. When you watch 82 games of one team, you start looking at the players a little different.
Right.
Like, I was watching Westbrook. I was like, dude, this guy's not that good.
Bro, I came away from that season of Melo with the Thunder, just, not even that he's not that good, like, I legit, like, I don't want to say he's a bad basketball player, but, like, without his athleticism, and like, he was shooting, 23% from three, and he was shooting threes. It's not like he shot like, he shot, 4 or 5 a game. And, yeah, bro, that season made me feel a lot of ways towards Westbrook that I was definitely not feeling before that year. But, yeah, I'm right on board with you on that one.
You know why? Because, everybody gets used to seeing ESPN highlights.
Exactly.
They never show the bad. So when you get to watch a full game and you're watching consecutive games and you see, like, oh, this is a trend. He can't shoot. This is, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's always this thing I used to say about Westbrook that people don't understand it when I say it, and they look at me like I'm crazy. I said Westbrook is a terrible basketball player.
Yeah.
He's an excellent athlete.
100%.
Like, what? I'm like, think about what I'm saying.
100%.
Terrible basketball player. His IQ is not good, but he's an excellent athlete.
Right.
And people just don't understand what I'm saying. It's like, yo, you crazy. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
No, bro, 100%. And you said the Sports Center shit, and I feel like it's all extremes now. It's like, all right, you either watch highlights of a game or you look at the box score. And it's like, you look at the box score, Westbrook drops 30, 12, and 11. You're like, wow, bro, like, he's fucking good. or you watch the highlights and you see like a sick dunk he had and he blocked the shit out of somebody and he's like yelling into the crowd and shit like, wow, this guy's a good basketball player. But you watch the game, you see him turn the ball over 6-7 times, you see him shoot fucking 20% from three, and you're like, these people aren't fucking connecting the dots. They're not connecting the dots.
That's why I hate when people talk about stats and that does not tell the game. It does not. The last game, OKC game, they lost to Utah. Westbrook was 7 for 34. How is my point guard shooting 34 shots?
Yeah, and not only shooting 34 shots, you hit 7 of them. If he hits 20 of them, cool. If you hit 7 of them, that's not cool.
Yeah, but now you have Paul George forcing shots, and then somebody you brought in, Melo. Y'all gave him no role. He goes from a rhythm shooter, like he needs touches to get in a rhythm, and now y'all want him to sit in the corner, and when you decide to pass the ball and he gets a shot, it better go in or he's not seeing the ball again. So it's like, y'all setting my man up, bro. Like,
for real.
Like, what are y'all doing?
Bro, I remember there were games like, I don't know if you remember that like Sixers game where I think they went into like double OT or some shit. Melo was shooting like 70% from the field in like a double overtime game, and I think he had like 12 shots.
Right.
Just like,
I remember that game. Cause
you remember that shit?
Him and Embiid fake got into it. Like,
yeah.
I have it on my DVR. Like, I know what you're talking about. It's just like, yo, I don't understand, bro.
Yeah.
I don't. It's a lot of ego and pride. That's what I these players don't want to win. Like, you see a difference from the Jordan era to now.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what are y'all focused? Like, what do you want to walk away with? Do you want to walk away a winner? Or you want to walk away with the most points? It's like
different priorities.
Yeah, so. And the players are getting younger and younger, so it's only gonna get worse. Yeah, they talk about like LeBron is the best thing since air. I'm like, have you not heard of a guy named Michael Jordan? Like, y'all have all of his sneakers, and y'all really don't understand what this guy was to like basketball. Like, he birthed Kobe Bryant. Like, what is wrong with y'all?
Yep.
So, I don't know. I pray for them. I'm trying to refrain from arguing with them in the comments. They're giving me headaches. So, yeah. So.
All right, let's talk CJ McCollum. We mentioned him real briefly.
Mm-hmm.
You have some pretty strong opinions on CJ after watching him these past few weeks. What did you think of CJ, and what do you think of CJ now?
I really thought CJ was dope. Like, I liked him and Dame. I felt like they were underdogs, but I felt like they had an understanding, so they were underdogs together.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I got your back, you got my back, we're going to go at them together. And they're both really crafty. They both can shoot. Like, CJ's nice. Like, I always thought he was nice. I watched all of his workouts with Chris Brickley and the open runs and all that. And it seemed like him and Melo was fine. Like, he had no problem passing the ball and all that. But, like, as you keep watching and you start to see, like, he doesn't take a lot of good shots.
No.
It's like, at times he can be selfish. I don't want to say that's the overall because it's only been, maybe 4 or 5 games. I don't want to say that's who CJ is, but it's like, I want to call this a bad stretch. Hey, get back to it. Let's swing the ball around. Okay, I am taking bad shots. So I don't want to, put that over him, but it's noticeable. And you can see that he's been looking Melo off. And it's like, what is that about? I can see it. It's like, why are you looking him off? Like, purposely. So it's like, and you can see Melo too, but I feel like Melo understands, like, this is like my last situation, so I can't really blow up about not touching the ball and getting a rock and getting shots. Like, I already painted that I would do whatever it takes to get back on the team, do whatever it takes to win. So it's like, dang, bro, like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same thing with Westbrook. Like, before this 4 or 5 game stretch, when CJ was hitting the shots, you'll live with it. Like, there's nothing you could say if he's shooting 45, 50% from the field and he's taking these tough floaters or like these step back threes, whatever. Right. But these 4 or 5 games, it's noticeable. Like, him and Melo running plays and Melo's open for 3 and he still drives and a little step back in the paint or he still chucks up. And I don't know, man. I'm not ready to label him whatever or some shit, but it's definitely frustrating. And you could definitely tell that
something's off.
Yeah, and the thing is that, like, Coach Stotts, he plays Melo with CJ and he rests Dame, which makes perfect sense. Dame's the best player.
Right.
You
Right.
bring the second and third best players and put them together and let the first guy rest. But when Melo's out there with CJ, like if you watch every night, Melo scores a decent amount in the first quarter, in the first
Right.
6-7 minutes. And then him and CJ come out, then Dame comes or stays in, then him and CJ come back late first or early second, and then Melo doesn't score as much as he does with
He
Dame
doesn't
on the
touch the
court.
ball.
And
Oh.
yeah, man, it's just like obviously as a Melo fan, like it's real frustrating because I want him to shoot the ball every fucking time, but at the same
Facts.
time, like he helps the team, and if you get him in a fucking rhythm early, and then you don't
That
give it to
helps
him or
you.
you don't get him to a rhythm at all, it
Right.
doesn't help the team. He can't
Right.
help the team with the scoring. So
It's
Yeah.
just like, what did you bring him in for? It's like, did you bring him in to be a decoy? Like, okay, everybody knows it's Melo, he's prolific. That allows me to go because they're gonna pay attention to him. If that's the case, then you're not gonna get very far. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't like the mix up too with Terry Stouts. I don't think he has his rotations down pat yet. But
It's
I
tough
figured-
though with all the injuries.
Yeah, but I figured Melo would play more with the second unit just so he can be the scoring anchor, and that would give him more shots.
Right.
But they don't really have a backup point guard who can feed him. Like, they got rid of
CJ
Shabazz
almost does.
Napier. If they would have kept Shabazz Napier, that'd work. But I don't know. Like, I want to see Dame and Melo together more.
Me
'cause
too.
It seems like Dame feeds him.
Yo, he's a good passer. Lillard can
Dame
pass.
feeds him. He looks for him though, and it's like, yo, I brought you here to help. It's gonna take a load off of me. But it's not like they not See, I don't think CJ's understanding. Like, yo, if you have Melo hot all season, playoff time is easier on you. It's 3 people to focus on instead of 2.
Right.
Like, I don't understand what y'all not getting. Like, it's
Yeah.
just frustrating because it's like you expect different mindsets from pros who've been in the league. They keep losing in the same spot every year. You finally get that help, and it's like, okay, why are you playing like you belong on the Knicks now? Like, what are you doing, bro?
Right.
So I don't know. Hopefully, we get this win tonight.
I want to get to another comment that you posted on one of our Instagram posts, kind of the game thoughts and shit. You said, and I feel like this is kind of relevant to what we were just talking about, young egos turn out to be later vet regrets with NBA players. What did you mean by that?
When you sent that to me, I was like, yo, I said that before. I thought about 2 interviews. The Young Orlando, Shaq and Penny, they had like an interview or something like that, and they was just talking about how like Shaq wasn't mature enough at the time to understand that, you know, if he would have put some of his pride to the side, him and Penny could have really did damage and made history. And I think it was vice versa too. Like Penny, same thing with Shaq, and he was like, "Yo, like when I got into the Lakers situation, I already had the regret in my head with Penny, so I had to let Kobe flourish." And he's like, "Look, it got us 3 rings." And also the same thing with Kevin Garnett and Marbury. I was watching something,
Minnesota?
and everybody was like, those 2 guys should have been Hall of Famers. They should have been champions, but they were both really young. They both wanted to be the man, and it was like, yeah, like Kevin Garnett said it out of his mouth. He was like, yo, I regret that. I regret not being mature enough to fight for Marbury, fight for us to stay together. And it's like, yo, they wait 10, 11 years down, they're like, yo, dad, like, and it's like, that always happens. I mean, I get it. Everybody want to be the man, but it's like, if you could get help to get the rings, what's the problem?
So why'd you say this when it came to CJ? Or did you?
Nah, I definitely did. But it's because I saw the blatant look-offs. And it's like, okay, Melo's a vet. He's getting a lot of attention now from getting blackballed for a whole year. So he's back. Everybody loves him. Turns around, gets Western Conference Player of the Week. Win 4 out of 5 games. The week is over, and now it's like you're not even trying to give him the ball. So it's like what's up? It's like we can see it though. Like what's going on? So it's like, it could be that young ego. Like man, this old guy kind of trying to come steal my shine, taking my shots and stuff like that. So it's like That's what came to my mind. The Kevin Garnett and Marbury thing came to my mind right away when I started watching the blatant look-offs. And I'm just like, man, I hope he on. Man, like, it's like that. That tends to happen a lot. History repeats itself.
All right, so knowing where the Blazers are now, can you propose a realistic trade that they can pull off? And let's forget about the money for a second. Obviously, it can't be like fucking Dame, crazy contract for a little one, but like, can you give us a realistic one that can bring in a piece and send pieces away that will help the team overall and kind of form them into a Western Conference contender? Because we talked a little bit about Love last week, but is there something else that you think the Blazers can do to kind of bring in and make this team legit in the West?
Does it have to be a trade?
What were you thinking? Of signing someone?
Because I just saw something with Kenneth Faried. He's a free agent sitting home.
Yeah.
That's another body. That's somebody who will run the floor. He'll rebound. He can help defend. Also, Mike Beasley. It might be a stretch, but
Beasley.
What
do you think this team is missing? We'll go from there.
Right now is really bodies. Like they just need bodies, and they need bodies in positions. Like I still hate Melo playing the stretch four. I hate it.
Why?
I feel like he was the best at the small forward.
Still though, you think he can still do it?
Well, now since the game has really changed, everybody want to shoot threes and all that. I mean, he could survive now, but I feel like Melo was way more effective at the three.
Really?
He was. Offensively, he was sharper. He had to move quicker because the defenders are quicker.
Right.
So I don't know, but definitely Kenneth Faried, Beasley. I paid attention to those guys sitting home, and I'm like, yo, they can help.
Yeah.
I don't really know no free agent centers. The Kevin Love thing to me is a stretch because he's not the same Kevin Love. It's not 2020 Kevin Love. Like this is.
He's still decent though, but I just don't think he really fits.
I don't really think he's gonna do nothing. And it's like, yo, if we could get all these people, but if CJ's still acting the way CJ's acting, it doesn't help anything. It's wasting money. So.
Yeah, man.
I honestly think CJ might get traded.
Who?
I think CJ might get traded.
That's what like some people have, not like NBA reporters, but some fans and shit were like, bro, maybe they could get something back from him and shit like that. So
I feel like he might get traded.
I don't know. I mean, if they keep going down like this, someone's gonna have to pay. Like, dude, this team just went to the conference finals last year, and Nurkic is still coming back, but I don't know if Nurkic is the answer at this point. Especially after that Nuggets game, I was like, man, they need perimeter defenders. They need interior defenders. Like, Whiteside is good, but he is so fucking inconsistent and so frustrating to watch.
He is terrible.
And I think they need perimeter defenders. I think a guy like, Jared Allen or Mitchell Robinson would be fucking amazing for them in the paint to have. And then maybe a wing defender, like, this is cliche, but like Ariza or like Robert Covington, who can also shoot because they need more shooters. I don't know, man. I feel like a 3-and-D guy.
I like Jeremy Grant. He played with Melo on OKC last year. Yeah. 2 years ago. He came a long way.
We just saw him in Denver. What did he shoot, like 5 of 5 from 3?
Right. He can defend. He's very long, and he reminds me of like a Darius Miles type of situation. Like that can go because I don't really see him being a real focal point in Denver. So I don't think that's not like that. But to me they just need bodies.
Word.
A backup point guard too.
That too. They need someone who could run the fucking offense and not chuck it up every time he gets a pick.
No, like we really need a guard when Dame and CJ sitting down. Like if it just flows from Dame to CJ, then it's like,
They need a facilitator.
Shooting. Right, basically.
We usually play a couple different games. Tonight we're going to play a different one that I don't think we've played before. I want to ask you if you can relive one game, which game would it be? If you can change one game, what would it be? And we're not talking about the whole game. We're talking about like 1 or 2 plays that could change the outcome. And then if you could delete a game from memory. So relive one game, change what happens in one game, and delete a game. Which 3 games would it be?
If I had to relive a game, it'd probably be Game 1 of the finals, Allen Iverson, 2001 finals. Oh, I was in all the whole game.
That says it all right there.
Oh my God! I was like, this guy's amazing. I was screaming my head off. Yeah. But we got killed. If I had to change the game,
Yeah, like one or two plays.
I would change. Kings and Lakers. The tip out to Robert Horry. If I could redo that play and Vlade Divac just grab the ball instead of tipping it out, I would do that. We would have a whole different final.
Yep.
And I'll probably have a ring.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah. If I had to delete a game.
Yeah, just if you could just forget that this game ever happened. It was so bad that every time you think of this game, it gives you nightmares.
Probably any Knicks game this year. Like I don't know. Oh yeah, Knicks games. One of those heartbreakers.
So what hurts more, the heartbreakers or like the 40-point losses?
They all stink. You know why? Because the Knicks, when they play well and they lose by 3, the blood pressure's all up. You think they're gonna figure it out. It's like a minute left. They do something dumb.
The classic fake comeback, fake Knicks comeback.
Classic fake comeback, or they just let somebody who's very regular have a career high.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my god, the Knicks never fail.
Whenever I think of that, when you say a guy who's very average have like a career high or whatever, I don't know why my mind always goes to that 2013-2014 season, the year after they won 54 games. Mm-hmm. And I just remember it was a game late in the season, and I think they were playing the Blazers. And I think they had Jarrett Jack at that point, and Jarrett Jack just tore fucking... He tore Felton apart, man.
Oh my god.
And that was like pretty late in the season, and that's... I remember a game like that happened, I was like, that's it. Like, this team is really not going to make the playoffs after winning the division the year before, so... Yeah, that,
Oh, man.
Classic Knicks, man. Classic fucking Knicks.
I definitely remember that, because I remember I was on the phone talking to my pops, rest in peace. He was like, yo, this guy, Jarrett Jack, he's a bomb, yo. Cracker up. He had like 30. I was like, oh, my God. Leave it to the Knicks to make.
Yep. Not against the Knicks, he's not.
You want a max contract, have a good game against the Knicks. That's it. Somebody will sign you for $220 million if you have 50 on the Knicks. Tell me.
For real. All right, Darell, we reached the end of this podcast, and before we let our guests off, we always just want to give them the chance to control the narrative about whatever it is that they want to control the narrative about, whether it's Allen Iverson, Chauncey Billups, cardboard boxes, whatever the fuck you want. So, Darell, what do you want to control the narrative about tonight?
I want to control the narrative that Carmelo Anthony is a terrible defensive player. I think we rode that for the longest, and there's actually no proof. Like, if we really sit here and think, what player head-to-head has given Carmelo Anthony like 40 points in his head, 30 points in his head, or even 25? Like, let's really sit and think, like, who really killed Melo head-to-head? You can say LeBron all you want. He didn't hold LeBron the whole game. And if that's the case, LeBron got killed too because Melo puts up his numbers. But the last couple of years, everybody tried to sell that narrative. Oh, Melo's a terrible defensive player. I actually watched on Houston. I watched on OKC. Like, he made the effort. He really tried. He boxed out. He got steals. He got blocks. Like, people always say that he doesn't play defense. I'm like, dude, he has a whole defensive highlight tape on YouTube. Everything is on YouTube. So it's like, come on, man, cut that out. And I feel like people who say that, they go to ESPN and watch highlights. They don't watch the games. So it's like, cut that narrative out. My boy's playing defense this year. He got blocks. He got steals. He's being a good teammate. He set his screens off. Like, just kill it, all right? Cut it out. That's it.
Love it. I fucking love that. Yo, nobody talks about that shit because, yeah, it's on the highlights and shit, but it's mainly just like a word of mouth thing. It's like, that narrative. Melo doesn't play defense. Right. I seriously, and I'm a little biased, and I've watched a lot of, Melo games and shit. I don't remember anyone who Melo couldn't hold.
Right.
Like, there's no one that I was like, fuck, man, Melo's going up against this dude. Like, this dude's going to have it. I never thought that. And
I never saw him get cooked. He held Kobe, and I didn't see him get cooked against Kobe. So it's like...
And we're not saying that he's like a lockdown defender or anything. What we're saying is he's not this terrible defender that everyone says and thinks he is. Like,
right.
So, yeah.
If that's the case, why no one's mentioning James Harden?
Yeah. Because it's
Right?
only Melo. Only Melo's not allowed to play lockdown D. You know how it is.
He's the only person in the league giving
You
it
know
that.
you know how it
Be
is.
like, come on now.
You know how it is.
But it's something I always said though about Melo. I always said I felt like he was the second coming of Iverson in terms of style, culture, and all of that. And I kind of feel like the NBA formed something against him while him and Iverson was together in Denver, and they tried to ride it out. And it's like they're still trying to put it on him, and it's like, yo, he's not that dude. Like, let it go. He has tattoos. So what? 90% of the NBA has tattoos now. Like, let it go. He's a good dude. Everybody say he's an excellent teammate. He's a fan favorite. He's a player favorite. So it's like, yo, what's the problem?
Everyone loves him, man.
Guy? So I don't understand. Like, did you watch how the narrative changed?
When he got back?
The whole year. He got back, they act like, like everybody was rooting for him. Everybody wanted him to get signed. I'm like, if everybody wanted him to get signed, why did it take a year?
It's crazy.
Full of it. It's politics.
And then the NBA was participating in it with like Melo's return to the NBA when before that there wasn't a fucking peep about him. Like,
exactly.
I'll never forget this like free agency. I remember the day before free agency when everyone still thought the whole KD Kyrie thing. Everyone's like, yo, shit, Melo. Ian Begley reported that like, yo, if they come back, like the Knicks might bring back Melo and all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then like through I think it was 2 weeks in free agency, there wasn't a single tweet by any reporter about Melo. Not Woj, not Shams, like crickets. And I was just like, what the fuck?
I check my Bleacher Report every day.
Same. I fucking had notifications for Woj on for like 4 months.
Day.
And then I turned it off. I'm like, bro, like, I was starting to lose doubt, but I'll never forget how there wasn't a single fucking peep. And like, nobody was like, whoa, well, this isn't normal. Like, nobody said that. Everybody's just like, oh, whatever. Like, Melo, no team wants him. And now a team wanted him. He shows up. They're like, oh, Melo's back and all this shit. So, keep that same fucking energy that you were having in the fucking summer. So
I was having a fit. I was like, y'all so fake. And everybody's just like, yo, there's nothing you can do about it. I'm like, yo, I don't like that. That's fake. Like, y'all wrote him off into the sunset. Y'all paid him as bad guy. As soon as he gets signed, he's a future Hall of Famer.
Exactly.
No doubt. That first ballot. Like, yo, what?
Like, exactly.
Like, I didn't watch NBA last year because he wasn't playing, and now y'all trying to act like y'all wanted him there the whole time. Cut it out, bro.
Yep.
Like, so, hey, keep doing what you're doing, man. We got to keep controlling this narrative,
of
man.
Course,
We're not
bro.
leaving it up to ESPN. They suck. I don't want no beef with them, but I don't like what's going on over there. Somebody got a beef with that man over there.
Yeah.
But keep doing what you're doing, man. You got a dope campaign.
Appreciate you,
I'm all in, bro. I'm a little nervous as to what you're going to do when Melo retire. What we going to do? We got to find a new favorite player when we retire.
I know.
Who you got? Who you got in mind? You don't know yet?
I mean, my other favorite player in the league, and it doesn't really even count now, is J.R. Smith, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. He's sitting at home, too.
That's why I'm like, everyone I like just gets fucking blackballed and run out of the league, so I'm just like, fuck, man. But no, I mean, it's so weird you say that. I was literally asked that today because I'm wearing this fucking Melo Christmas sweater to work today.
Right.
Today was like Christmas sweater day, so they were like, what are you going to do when this guy retires? And I was just like, I don't know, like, I haven't thought about that yet. And they said, do you have, like, a next favorite player? And, like, I'm a Knicks fan, so, like, I love the Knicks, and I don't really know. I can't really pick. Like, if I was a kid right now, growing up, and someone said you could pick any favorite player in the league right now, it'd probably be D'Angelo Russell. I just fucking love how he plays, bro. He's so smooth, and he's, like, one of those dudes who are skilled. Like, you see guys, I say it all the time, guys like Giannis, amazing basketball player, but no true skill, like no true talent. Like if I had that body and like I was that athletic and I could take 2 steps from half court and dunk it, like I don't appreciate that as much as I appreciate a guy like D'Angelo Russell and Steph Curry pulling up from fucking 35 feet. So I think D'Angelo Russell is a guy that I really like, and another one I have a soft spot for some reason is Frank Ntilikina. Fucking love him.
Really?
Yeah, I love Frank.
That's that Knicks stuff, bro. Let that go, bro.
I think he's so good defensively, man.
Let it go, bro.
Wait, but what about you? So who's your next in line?
My next in line right now is Dame Lillard. Like, I've been liking him. I like when he came in. because I started getting on the Brandon Roy wave. So when Brandon Roy left, Dame came in. I was like, who is this guy? And then, they started showing his college highlights. I'm like, oh, nah, he's good.
Yeah.
Then his first couple of years, I'm like, oh, nah, he's good. So I like him. That's my guy. And I started watching D-Lo, too. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Who?
I wasn't a big D-Lo fan, but I watched him in with the Nets, and I'm like, nah,
he's nice,
he's
man.
the truth, bro.
Yeah.
I actually was tight when they made that trade. I'm like, nah, this guy's the truth. So definitely Dame, definitely D-Lo, and I like the Morris twins for some reason. I like both of them.
Yeah.
They just big dudes, and I feel like they could do everything. I like them.
And you know who Marcus modeled his game after? Is that why you like him?
Yeah, Melo.
Yeah.
I just saw the interview. I figured that was it. Not anything. But I just saw the interview and it confirmed. I was like, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
That's dope. That's dope.
All right, bro. I appreciate your support and everything. Why don't you tell everybody where they can
bro.
find you and your podcast and all that? Because we want to try to get some people onto you too.
You can check me out on Instagram, RELLO_MAY. It's Rello May. You can check the podcast out too at Sports Redefined on Instagram. We post on iTunes. We post on SoundCloud. We have a new episode coming out this week, so stay tuned.
And we'll post all those links in the bio, bro. So everyone who's watching wants to check it out, check the description. We got all that in there.
Hold on, let me shout out my team. Premium Nom, KC, Sports Redefined, baby.
All right, bro. Also, shout out to everyone at Sports Redefined. I saw you guys rocking the T-shirts and
Thank you, boss.
It just, I saw that shit and it's kind of validating that like we talked a little bit off the camera before, but just there's other people like that who fucking have the same basketball opinion, and sometimes when you say shit and it's against the narrative and everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
You get on, I got on Twitter, got on Instagram, saw you and all these people, so there's people out there, if you have a fucking opinion and you go out and say you're not fucking stupid as hell just because 95% of the media goes against it. So yeah, bro, mad props and respect. So
much love. Hey, we here, bro. We brothers now, man.
Yeah, you know it. You know it, bro. All right, thank you everyone for watching. Check us out and all the links in the description to Darell and all the podcasts. So thanks again, bro. Appreciate you.
No problem. Let's go watch the Melo game, man.
Let's go, baby.
All right.